Goku had fought gods, angels, aliens, monsters, assassins, and warriors from universes he had never even known existed. He had watched worlds disappear, felt power that could destroy planets with a single movement, and stood face to face with beings who considered mortal life insignificant. Yet there was one thing Goku had never truly understood about Beerus. Why did the god of destruction react differently whenever the ancient Saiyans were mentioned? It was subtle at first, a pause, a change in expression. A subject was suddenly redirected. Goku had noticed it years ago, but there had never been a reason to investigate. Beerus was Beerus. He didn't explain himself, and Goku had always been more interested in getting stronger than asking questions about the distant past. But that changed the day Goku discovered a record that should not have existed. It began during training. Goku and Vegeta were fighting on Beerus's world, while Whis observed from a distance, casually eating, as though the Saiyans weren't destroying the landscape around him. Goku had been trying to understand the strange feeling he sometimes experienced when using Ultra Instinct. It wasn't simply faster movement anymore. His body occasionally reacted to energy before he consciously recognized it. He could sense attacks that hadn't fully formed. He could feel disturbances in space before they became visible. Whis explained that Goku was becoming more sensitive to the structure of energy around him. But even Whis couldn't explain why certain ancient energy signatures seemed to attract Goku's attention more than others. During one exchange, Goku suddenly stopped moving. Vegeta's fist passed inches from his face. Goku wasn't distracted by Vegeta. He was staring at the ground. Beneath his feet, for less than a second, a strange symbol had appeared. 6 circles surrounding a seventh. Vegeta recognized it immediately. He had seen the symbol once before in an ancient Saiyan archive. Goku asked what it meant. Vegeta refused to answer at first. He said it was a royal symbol from before the Saiyans became the race everyone remembered. Goku asked why he had never heard of it. Vegeta said because almost everything connected to that period had been destroyed. Whis quietly looked toward Beerus. Beerus had been watching from his seat. The moment he saw the symbol, his expression changed. It lasted less than a second, but Goku noticed. Beerus stood up and ordered them to stop. Goku asked why. Beerus told them that the symbol meant nothing and that they should forget about it. Goku smiled. The faster Beerus told him to forget something, the more interested he became. Later that day, Goku asked Whis about the symbol. Whis gave him the same answer Beerus had given him. Nothing important, an ancient Saiyan mark. A forgotten piece of history. Goku didn't believe him. He asked whether Beerus had seen it before. Whis smiled. Goku immediately knew that was an answer. You know something, Goku said. Whis replied that knowing something and being permitted to discuss it were very different matters. Goku asked who had made the rule. Whis looked toward the stars. Beerus. Goku laughed. Then I'll just ask Beerus. Whis calmly told him that this might be one of the rare occasions where asking Beerus directly would be the least useful approach. That night, Goku returned to the place where the symbol had appeared. He expected nothing. Instead, the ground began glowing again. The symbol expanded, revealing a hidden chamber beneath the surface. Goku called Vegeta. Together they entered. The chamber wasn't modern. It was ancient beyond anything either Saiyan had seen. The walls were covered with carvings, showing Saiyan warriors standing beneath unfamiliar constellations. Some were fighting, others were kneeling, but one carving showed something impossible. A Saiyan stood directly in front of Beerus, not the Beerus they knew from the present, but the same god of destruction, younger only in appearance, surrounded by enormous destruction energy. The Saiyan was holding a strange black sphere in one hand. Behind him were dozens of dead warriors. Above the carving were 3 words written in ancient Saiyan language. Vegeta translated them slowly, the one who returned. Goku asked who the Saiyan was. Vegeta said he didn't know. Then they found another carving. The Saiyan was standing over a shattered symbol representing a god of destruction. Goku stared at it. Vegeta's face became serious. The carving wasn't showing the Saiyan fighting Beerus. It was showing the Saiyan standing over the remains of another god of destruction. Goku asked how that was possible. Gods of destruction weren't supposed to be killed by ordinary mortals. Vegeta said that was why the record had probably been erased. Then Goku noticed something in the corner of the carving. Beerus was there again. He wasn't fighting the Saiyan. He was watching him. Goku immediately understood why Beerus had reacted to the symbol. Beerus had been there. He had seen this Saiyan. And whatever happened next was something Beerus had spent millions of years making sure nobody remembered.
Goku and Vegeta continued deeper into the chamber. The further they went, the older the carvings became. Eventually, they found a massive stone door with no handle. In its center was the same 7 circle symbol. Goku touched it and felt an energy unlike anything he had experienced before. It wasn't God K. It wasn't ordinary K. It didn't feel evil, but it felt incomplete, almost like an echo of something that had been deliberately removed from existence. Goku closed his eyes. For a moment, he saw a battlefield. Thousands of Saiyans were running across a destroyed planet. Above them, a god of destruction was descending through the atmosphere. The ancient Saiyans were terrified. Then one warrior walked forward. He had long black hair, old Saiyan armor, and a scar across his chest. His expression wasn't angry. It was calm, too calm. The god of destruction raised his hand. The warrior raised his own. Then everything disappeared. Goku opened his eyes. Vegeta asked what he had seen. Goku described the warrior. Vegeta recognized the description from another fragment. The warrior had a name, Chiron, an ancient Saiyan whose existence had been almost completely erased. Vegeta said Chiron wasn't remembered as a king, hero, or god. He was remembered in one surviving sentence as the Saiyan who returned from destruction. Goku asked what that meant. Vegeta said nobody knew. The ancient records claimed Chiron had been killed when his planet was destroyed. Yet the next records showed him alive centuries later, appearing on different worlds whenever civilizations were threatened by destruction. He didn't rule them. He didn't conquer them. He appeared, fought, and disappeared. It was as if he was searching for something. Then they found the answer. Chiron had been searching for a way to survive destruction energy. Not avoid it, not block it, survive it. The ancient Saiyans had discovered that destruction energy wasn't simply an attack. It was a principle. It erased the existence of whatever it touched. Most beings couldn't resist it because their bodies were part of the universe's natural structure. Chiron discovered something different. His body could adapt to the energy by separating his physical existence from the energy that defined him. He created a state where destruction energy could erase his body without completely erasing the consciousness connected to it. The process was unstable. Every time he used it, part of him disappeared, but he kept improving it. Eventually, Chiron challenged a god of destruction, not Beerus, another one. The ancient records showed the battle. The god of destruction attacked with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Chiron didn't overpower the attack. He allowed it to hit him. His body disappeared completely. The god of destruction assumed the battle was over. Then Chiron returned from the destruction energy itself. He appeared behind the god and struck him with a technique that didn't destroy the body. It destroyed the connection between the god and his divine power. The god of destruction fell. Chiron had killed him. Goku stared at the carving. Vegeta said the ancient Saiyans had misunderstood what happened. Chiron hadn't become stronger than a god of destruction. He had discovered a weakness in the way destruction energy was connected to its user. That knowledge was more dangerous than raw power. If mortals could learn it, the gods would no longer be untouchable. Goku asked what happened to Chiron afterward. Vegeta pointed at the next carving. Chiron was standing before Beerus. The meaning was obvious. Beerus had found him. The carving showed Chiron kneeling, but not in surrender. He was injured. Beerus stood before him with his hand raised. Yet the next image showed something strange. Beerus had lowered his hand. Chiron was walking away. Goku asked why Beerus didn't destroy him. A voice answered from behind them, "Because I couldn't." Goku and Vegeta turned. Beerus was standing in the doorway. Whis was beside him. Beerus looked at the ancient carvings and sighed. For once, he didn't seem angry that Goku had discovered the secret. He seemed tired. Goku asked the question directly. Who was Chiron? Beerus looked at the carving of the ancient Saiyan. Then he answered, the only mortal who ever made me wonder whether a god of destruction could actually be killed. Vegeta's eyes widened. Goku smiled. Now they finally had the beginning of the story. But Beerus had only told them the part he was willing to admit. Beerus walked through the chamber without saying another word. Goku followed him. Vegeta remained behind for a moment, studying the carvings. Whis quietly examined the walls as though he had expected them to still exist. Goku asked Beerus why he had hidden Chiron's existence. Beerus said because some knowledge didn't make people stronger. It simply gave them new ways to destroy things. Goku asked whether Chiron had really killed another god of destruction. Beerus said yes. Goku asked how. Beerus explained that Chiron's technique wasn't a conventional attack. It was called the empty pulse. It allowed Chiron to momentarily separate a being's destructive energy from its identity. For a mortal, the effect was temporary. For a god of destruction, whose existence was fundamentally connected to destruction energy, the separation could become fatal. Vegeta asked why the technique had never appeared in Saiyan history. Beerus answered that it had been removed, not by him alone. The Divine Order had decided that the technique could never be allowed to spread. Chiron had been offered a place among the gods in exchange for surrendering the knowledge. He refused. He believed that no power should exist exclusively for one group simply because that group was stronger. Beerus said Chiron reminded him of Yamoshi in that way. But there was one important difference. Chiron didn't want to change the gods. He simply wanted mortals to understand that gods weren't beyond consequence. Goku asked what happened when Beerus found him. Beerus admitted that he had been ordered to destroy Chiron. The order came from above him. Chiron had already defeated one god of destruction, and the divine hierarchy considered his existence a threat. Beerus found him on a dead planet. Chiron was injured and had already used the empty pulse too many times. His body was slowly disappearing. Beerus could have destroyed him. Instead, Beerus challenged him. The battle lasted 3 days. Beerus said Chiron was unlike any mortal he had ever fought. He didn't fight with rage. He didn't fight for revenge. He fought because he believed that if he surrendered, the technique would disappear with him. Beerus attacked with everything he could use without destroying the planet. Chiron survived. Every time Beerus believed he had defeated him, Chiron returned. Eventually, Chiron used the empty pulse against Beerus. For the first time in millions of years, Beerus felt something that almost no mortal had ever made him feel. Fear. Not fear of dying. Fear that his existence could be separated from his power. Chiron could have killed him. He didn't. Instead, Chiron stopped the technique. Beerus asked why. Chiron answered that he wasn't interested in proving that gods were weaker than mortals. He wanted to prove that power didn't give anyone the right to decide who deserved to exist. Beerus said that sentence stayed with him. Then the Grand Priest arrived. Chiron knew the moment he saw him that the battle was over. The Grand Priest didn't attack. He simply asked Chiron to surrender the technique. Chiron refused. He said that if the gods wanted the technique gone, they should erase his memory rather than erase him. The Grand Priest asked why he was willing to sacrifice himself. Chiron answered that knowledge couldn't be destroyed completely. If someone understood the principle once, someone else could eventually discover it again. That was when the Grand Priest made a decision. Chiron would disappear, not die, disappear. His existence would be removed from ordinary history. Every record of him would be altered. Every Saiyan who knew his name would lose the memory. Every world that had recorded his battles would forget. Even the divine archives would contain only fragments. The technique would be hidden. Beerus would be the last god of destruction who personally remembered him. Goku asked whether Beerus agreed. Beerus said he had no choice. Goku looked at him. "You could have told me." Beerus became irritated. "And what exactly did you expect me to do? Tell every curious Saiyan that there was once a mortal who discovered a way to kill gods?" Goku smiled. "Honestly? Yeah." Vegeta stepped forward. "That's exactly why you didn't tell him." Beerus glared at Vegeta. Whis smiled. Goku asked whether Chiron was dead. Beerus said that was the strange part. The official answer was yes, but Beerus had never believed it. The empty pulse had changed Chiron's existence. If he had truly separated himself from destruction energy, then he might not have remained within normal space at all. Goku immediately understood. Chiron might still be alive, somewhere, waiting. Beerus looked directly at him. "That is the part you should be afraid of." Goku asked why. Beerus answered quietly, "Because if Chiron is alive, he may not be the one who has been waiting for us." The chamber began shaking. A low vibration traveled through the walls. Whis immediately raised his staff. Beerus looked upward. Something had activated beneath the temple. Goku and Vegeta prepared themselves. The 7 circle symbol began rotating. The stone floor opened, revealing a massive chamber below. At its center was a black sphere suspended in the air. It wasn't giving off energy, it was absorbing it. Goku couldn't sense it at all. That frightened him more than any enormous power ever had. Beerus told everyone to stay back. Goku didn't. He stepped toward the sphere. The moment he touched it, the world disappeared. Goku found himself standing on an ancient planet. The sky was red. The ground was covered with enormous craters. A civilization had been destroyed. Goku looked around and saw Chiron standing alone. The ancient Saiyan looked exactly as he had appeared in the carvings. He was holding the black sphere. Goku realized this wasn't a memory. Chiron was looking directly at him. "You shouldn't be here," Chiron said. Goku asked whether he was alive. Chiron smiled. "Not in the way you understand." Goku asked why he had hidden himself. Chiron said he hadn't hidden himself. He had been trapped. When the gods erased his existence, they didn't understand what the empty pulse had done. It had separated Chiron from ordinary reality. He could observe certain events, but he could not fully return. The black sphere was the anchor that kept his consciousness connected to the universe. Every few thousand years, someone sensitive enough to ancient energy could activate it. Goku was the first Saiyan in millions of years to do so naturally. Goku asked why Chiron had allowed him to find him. Chiron answered that he hadn't. Someone else had. The world suddenly changed. Goku saw a figure standing behind Chiron. It wasn't a Saiyan. It wasn't a god. It was a strange shadow made of broken energy. Chiron turned toward it with genuine fear. Goku asked what it was. Chiron said it was the reason he had created the empty pulse in the first place. Before gods, before the current divine order, there had been beings that existed outside the normal relationship between creation and destruction. They didn't destroy planets. They erased possibilities. They could remove events before they happened. Chiron had discovered traces of one such being while researching destruction energy. He realized that the gods weren't the highest level of power in existence. They were simply the highest level that most beings could understand. The shadow moved. Chiron told Goku to run. Goku refused. The shadow attacked. Goku activated Ultra Instinct. For a moment, everything slowed. Goku dodged the first strike, then the second. The shadow wasn't physically attacking him. It was trying to remove the possibility that he had ever moved. Goku felt his existence flickering. He realized why Chiron had been trapped for so long. The empty pulse wasn't simply a weapon. It was a way of protecting consciousness from being completely erased. Goku reached for the black sphere. Chiron shouted that he would destroy himself. Goku grabbed it anyway. The world exploded. Goku returned to Beerus's temple with the sphere in his hand. Beerus immediately destroyed the chamber around them with a single movement. The black sphere shattered, but the energy had already escaped. Chiron's voice echoed through the room. "You brought me back." Beerus's face changed. Goku asked where Chiron was. The ancient Saiyan appeared behind him, not as a ghost, not as a memory, as a physical being. Chiron looked at his hands. He looked at the world. Then he looked at Beerus. For several seconds, neither spoke. Finally, Chiron said, "You still look angry." Beerus answered, "And you still look dead." Chiron laughed. Then he turned toward Goku. "You have changed." Goku asked what he meant. Chiron said Goku carried divine energy, Saiyan instinct, and something else. Something Chiron had never seen before. Goku had learned from gods without becoming dependent on them. He had learned from angels without becoming one. He had learned from rivals without losing himself. Chiron said that was why the black sphere had responded to him. Goku asked whether Chiron had returned to kill the gods. Chiron shook his head. No, he looked at Beerus. "I came back because something is coming that even the gods don't know how to destroy." Beerus immediately demanded an explanation. Chiron told him that during his disappearance, he had been able to observe fragments of reality that normal beings couldn't see. He had watched universes form and disappear. He had seen civilizations rise and collapse. He had seen gods replaced, angels move between universes, and mortals reach levels of power that should have been impossible. But beneath all of those events, he had sensed the same presence. Something was moving between possibilities, something that didn't belong to any universe. Beerus asked why he had never sensed it. Chiron said because gods of destruction were part of the system. The being existed outside that system. Destroying something required it to exist within the structure of reality. This thing didn't always do that. Sometimes it existed, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it was a possibility, sometimes it was a memory, sometimes it was an event that had never happened. Vegeta asked how they could fight something like that. Chiron looked at him. You can't. Vegeta's expression hardened. Chiron continued, not by becoming stronger. Goku immediately understood. The problem wasn't power, it was existence. Chiron explained that the empty pulse had been created because he had realized destruction energy was only one expression of a larger principle. To defeat something outside reality, you couldn't simply hit it harder. You needed to become difficult to erase. You needed an existence that couldn't be reduced to a single state. Chiron had achieved part of it. Goku had achieved another part through instinct, but neither was complete. Beerus asked what Chiron wanted from Goku. Chiron said he didn't want anything. He wanted to know whether Goku was willing to risk everything to discover the answer. Goku smiled. Beerus immediately told him no. Goku looked at Beerus. Beerus said this was no longer a training problem. It wasn't another enemy waiting to challenge Goku. If Goku followed Chiron, he could disappear from reality entirely. No resurrection, no Dragon Balls, no timeline correction, nothing. He could become something even the gods couldn't recover. Goku asked whether Beerus was scared. Beerus said yes. Goku looked surprised. Beerus admitted that Chiron was the only mortal who had ever made him feel uncertain about his own existence. He didn't want Goku to become another version of him. Chiron interrupted. That is exactly why he must choose for himself. Beerus glared at him. Chiron continued. You tried to protect him by hiding the truth. The gods tried to protect reality by erasing me. Both approaches created the same problem. Someone else decided what another person was allowed to know. Beerus became silent. Goku looked at him. For once, Beerus didn't argue. He simply said, if you do this, don't expect me to save you. Goku smiled. I won't. Vegeta stepped forward. Then I'm coming too. Goku laughed. Chiron looked at Vegeta and said that he wasn't sure whether the universe was ready for two Saiyans like them. Vegeta answered, the universe will survive. Chiron smiled. The universe will survive. Whis arrived behind them. Whis smiled. I wouldn't be so certain. The four of them prepared to leave. But before they could, Chiron stopped Goku. He told him that there was one rule. If they encountered the being outside reality, Goku couldn't rely on Ultra Instinct alone. Goku asked why. Chiron answered that Ultra Instinct taught the body to react without thought, but against something that could erase the relationship between cause and effect, instinct could become predictable. Goku asked what he should use instead. Chiron said, everything you have learned. Goku nodded. Then the portal opened. They stepped through. The portal didn't lead to another planet. It led to a place where there were no planets, no stars, no time. Goku felt as though he were floating between moments. Vegeta stood beside him, visibly uncomfortable. Beerus remained silent. Whis looked around with unusual seriousness. Chiron was the only one who seemed familiar with the environment. Goku asked where they were. Chiron answered, between what happened and what could have happened. Suddenly, Goku saw himself. Hundreds of versions. In one, he had become a god. In another, he had never met Vegeta. In another, he had died fighting Frieza. In another, he had never reached Super Saiyan. In another, he had become the strongest being in existence and ruled the universe. In another, Vegeta had surpassed him and Goku had stopped fighting. Every possibility existed around them. Goku became overwhelmed. Then the shadow appeared. It moved between the possibilities. Every version of Goku disappeared as it passed. Chiron attacked first. His body transformed into a strange black and crimson state. He moved faster than Goku had ever seen. The shadow absorbed his attack. Chiron vanished. Goku shouted his name. Chiron returned. He had survived, but a piece of his body was missing. He told Goku that this was what happened every time he used the empty pulse. Goku understood. Chiron wasn't immortal. He was paying for every moment he refused to be erased. Vegeta attacked next. His power exploded through the dimension. He didn't try to destroy the shadow. Instead, he attacked the surrounding possibilities, forcing the being to remain in one location. It worked for a moment. Beerus used Hakai. The destruction energy spread through the dimension. The shadow disappeared. Everyone thought it was over. Then the shadow returned behind Beerus. Beerus turned. The shadow touched his shoulder. Beerus's arm began disappearing. Goku reacted instantly. He moved between them. The shadow touched Goku. For a fraction of a second, Goku saw nothing. No Earth, no friends, no family, no memories. Then he heard Vegeta shouting his name. Goku returned. His body was shaking. He realized what had saved him. Not Ultra Instinct, not God K, not Super Saiyan. His memories, the things that connected him to other people. Chiron explained that the shadow could erase an individual by removing the relationships that defined them. Goku had survived because his existence wasn't dependent on one identity. He was a Saiyan, a martial artist, a friend, a husband, a father, a student, a rival, and a person who had learned from countless others. The more connections he carried, the harder it became to reduce him to nothing. Vegeta understood immediately. He stood beside Goku. The shadow attacked again. This time, Goku didn't dodge. He allowed the attack to reach him. Then Vegeta attacked. Goku moved. Their movements became synchronized. Neither was stronger than the shadow, but together, they created something the shadow couldn't predict: trust. Goku moved without knowing exactly what Vegeta would do. Vegeta moved without needing to know what Goku would do. Their attacks created openings that neither could have created alone. Chiron watched. He smiled. He had spent millions of years searching for a way to survive alone. Goku and Vegeta had discovered something he had never understood. They didn't need to survive alone. The shadow began collapsing. Beerus joined the attack. Whis raised his staff and stabilized the dimension. Chiron used the empty pulse one final time. The shadow screamed. Reality returned, but Chiron was disappearing. Goku reached for him. Chiron stopped him. "Don't." Goku asked why. Chiron said that this was his choice. For millions of years, he had been afraid of disappearing. He had fought gods, escaped destruction, and refused death because he believed his existence was necessary. Now he finally understood that existence wasn't valuable because it lasted forever. It was valuable because of what it changed while it existed. He looked at Goku. "You don't have to become immortal to leave something behind." Chiron's body began dissolving. Goku thanked him. Chiron smiled. Then he looked at Beerus. "Try not to erase everything when you're angry." Beerus frowned. Chiron disappeared. The dimension became silent. Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, and Whis returned to Beerus's planet. Nobody spoke for a long time. The battle had ended, but Goku couldn't stop thinking about Chiron. He had spent millions of years trying to prove that mortals could challenge gods. In the end, he had discovered that the greatest strength wasn't defeating a god. It was choosing what kind of person you became after gaining enough power to defeat one. Goku asked Beerus whether he regretted hiding the truth. Beerus said yes. Goku was surprised. Beerus explained that he had believed secrecy was protection. He had thought that if Goku never knew Chiron existed, Goku could never become obsessed with his technique. But the opposite had happened. The secret had made Goku curious, and curiosity had led Goku directly to the truth. Whis said that secrets had a strange way of becoming stronger when people tried to bury them. Vegeta looked at Beerus. "You were afraid of him." Beerus said nothing. Vegeta continued. "Not because he was stronger." Beerus finally looked at him. "Because he proved that you could be questioned." Beerus smiled slightly. "Maybe." Goku asked whether Chiron's technique had been destroyed. Whis said no. The knowledge existed inside Goku now. Goku immediately became serious. Whis explained that Goku had witnessed the principle behind the empty pulse, but he didn't possess the complete technique. That distinction was important. Chiron had spent millions of years mastering it. Goku couldn't simply copy it. If he tried, he could destroy his own existence. Goku said he wouldn't use it. Vegeta asked whether he was sure. Goku nodded. He didn't need another technique. He had learned something more important. Power didn't need to be collected. It needed to be understood. That night, Goku returned to Earth. He visited Bulma's laboratory and showed her the 7-circle symbol. Bulma scanned it and discovered that the symbol had appeared in dozens of ancient civilizations. She asked Goku where he found it. Goku said it was a long story. Bulma asked whether the story involved Beerus. Goku smiled. Definitely. Vegeta arrived later and told Bulma that the symbol shouldn't be stored digitally. Bulma asked why. Vegeta said because some information wasn't meant to be uploaded to the internet. Bulma laughed. Then she asked Goku whether he had become stronger. Goku thought about it. Yes, Vegeta corrected him. No, Goku looked at him. Vegeta said that Goku hadn't simply become stronger. He had become harder to define. Goku smiled. That was exactly what Chiron had taught him. The next morning, Goku trained again. Nothing looked different. He still fought Vegeta. He still lost sometimes. He still laughed. He still wanted stronger opponents. But when Goku entered Ultra Instinct, he no longer treated it as the final answer. He understood that every technique was temporary. Every form was temporary. Every victory was temporary. Even gods were temporary. What mattered was what remained after the power disappeared. And somewhere far away, Beerus stood alone beneath the stars. For the first time in millions of years, he allowed himself to remember Chiron completely. Not as a threat, not as a forbidden mortal, not as the Saiyan who could kill a god. As the warrior who had once looked at Beerus and refused to hate him. Beerus closed his eyes. Then he quietly said something Whis had never heard him say before. I should have told them. Whis smiled. You finally did. Several days later, Goku returned to Beerus's planet. He expected another training session. Instead, Beerus was waiting for him alone. No food, no sleeping, no complaints. Goku immediately knew something was wrong. Beerus told him to sit. Goku sat. Beerus placed an ancient object on the ground. It was a small black fragment. Goku recognized it immediately. It was part of Chiron's sphere. Goku asked why Beerus still had it. Beerus said that Chiron had given it to him millions of years ago. Goku asked what it contained. Beerus said he had never opened it. Goku asked why. Beerus answered, because I was afraid of what I would see. Goku stared at him. Beerus explained that Chiron had told him the fragment contained something that even a god of destruction shouldn't know. Beerus had carried it for millions of years but had never activated it. He had always assumed it was a weapon or a record of the empty pulse. But after Chiron disappeared, the fragment activated by itself. Goku asked what Beerus saw. Beerus looked toward the horizon. I saw you. Goku froze. Beerus said the fragment showed a future possibility. Goku standing in front of an enormous throne. Around him were the remains of gods, angels, and worlds. Goku wasn't smiling. He wasn't angry. He simply looked tired. The universe was silent. Beerus said that image had terrified him. Not because Goku had become evil, because Goku had become something he never wanted to become. Necessary. The entire universe depended on him. Every crisis required him. Every world waited for him. Every god feared him. Every mortal worshipped him. Goku had become so powerful that nobody could challenge his decisions. Beerus said that was the future he had been afraid of. Goku asked whether it was going to happen. Beerus said no, not anymore. Because Chiron had changed the path, Goku understood. The real danger was never that Goku would become evil. It was that he would become so powerful that everyone else would stop being able to disagree with him. Goku looked at the black fragment. Then he picked it up. The fragment activated. The future changed. Goku saw himself standing before the same throne. But this time, he wasn't alone. Vegeta stood beside him. Bulma was there. Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, Android 18, Beerus, Whis, even ordinary people from Earth. They weren't kneeling. They weren't worshipping him. They were arguing with him. Goku laughed. The vision changed again. Goku saw himself losing, then getting back up. He saw Vegeta surpassing him. He saw Gohan becoming stronger. He saw new warriors appearing. He saw himself growing old. He saw his body eventually becoming weak. And yet the universe continued. Goku smiled. That was the future he wanted. A universe that didn't need him forever. He placed the fragment back on the ground. Beerus asked what he had learned. Goku answered simply, I don't want to be the strongest forever. Beerus looked surprised. Goku continued, I just want to keep getting stronger while I'm here. Beerus smiled. Good answer. Then Goku asked whether there were other ancient Saiyans like Chiron. Beerus immediately frowned. Goku laughed. I knew it. Beerus told him not to start another investigation. Goku said he wouldn't. Vegeta's voice suddenly came from behind them. Liar. Goku turned around. Vegeta was standing there with a grin. Whis arrived behind him. Beerus sighed. This is exactly why I hate Saiyans. Goku laughed. And for a moment, everything felt normal again. But then the black fragment moved. Everyone stopped. A tiny crack appeared across its surface. A voice came from inside. Chiron's voice. You found the truth. Goku's smile disappeared. The voice continued. But you still haven't found the beginning. The fragment shattered. A single image appeared in the air. It showed an ancient Saiyan planet, not planet Vegeta, not Sadala, something older, something that existed before either. At the center stood a figure Goku had never seen. A Saiyan, but not an ordinary Saiyan. The figure had no golden aura, no blue aura, no silver aura, no divine energy. He was simply standing there. Behind him were 7 ancient symbols, the same symbols Goku had seen beneath Beerus's planet. Whis stared at the image. Beerus became completely silent. Vegeta asked what it was. Nobody answered. Goku looked at Beerus. For the first time since Goku had met him, the god of destruction looked genuinely afraid. Goku asked, "You know him?" Beerus slowly nodded. "I thought he was gone." Goku asked who he was. Beerus looked toward the ancient image. Then he said the words that made everyone in the room go silent. He was the first Saiyan to ever make the gods afraid. The image disappeared. Goku stood there, staring at the empty space. He had spent his entire life believing that strength was a straight path. Train, fight, lose, grow, transform, repeat. But now he understood that the universe had been hiding an entire history from him. Yamoshi had been the Saiyan who challenged the gods. Chiron had been the Saiyan who discovered that a god could be killed. And now there was another, someone who had existed before both of them. Someone Beerus had believed was gone. Someone whose name had been erased so completely that even Chiron had never spoken it. Goku smiled, not because he wanted another transformation, not because he wanted another enemy, but because, somewhere beyond the stars, another mystery was waiting. Vegeta looked at him. You're thinking about going after him? Goku answered, maybe. Vegeta smiled. Then I'm coming. Beerus shouted that neither of them was going anywhere. Whis laughed. The argument began, and somewhere beyond the universe, beyond the gods, beyond destruction itself, something ancient opened its eyes. The story of Chiron had ended, but the story of the Saiyan who came before him had only begun, because Goku had finally discovered the one thing Beerus was never supposed to see. The truth was never that a Saiyan could kill a god. The truth was far more dangerous. A Saiyan didn't need to become a god to reach the level where gods became afraid. And Goku was still getting stronger. The universe had no idea what that meant yet. But Beerus did. And for the first time in millions of years, the god of destruction looked at a Saiyan and wondered whether the future of the universe might no longer belong to the gods. It might belong to the mortals who had finally learned that strength wasn't about standing above everyone else. It was about becoming strong enough to stand beside them. And Goku, still smiling, still hungry, still completely unaware of how important that choice would become, looked toward the stars and said the only thing he ever really needed to say. Let's see what's out there, and the next journey began.